Hello, BookTube friends and book lovers everywhere. Today I am going to talk to you about my Read What You Own challenge. Now, I know there's another booktuber who is said to be the one who is organizing this challenge, and it supposedly started back in November, but I'm sort of on my own. I don't even watch that booktuber's videos, and I am just doing this because I have an issue with having too many books. Now, you all know this last year I moved into this house, and at this point, I have brought in all the books that were in my shed and some of the books that were in my cargo trailer, which there are still books out there. I haven't been able to bring them in yet. And uh, part of the problem is that I do not have enough shelf space. I have bought 4 bookcases so far. They're, as you can see, they're like half bookcases back there. They only go halfway up. I could actually put another level of shelves over those, but I haven't wanted to do that yet. So I think I have enough books already, and the scary thing is that most of them I haven't even read. So I want to read the ones that I haven't read. Now, since September, I have been buying a lot of books. I bought the Missing 411 books. I bought almost all of the books I need for the McCullough read along, and a lot of other books that I showed you in another video. So I have a small book haul here today, but these are books that I have ordered. I ordered them at the end of the year. I have them all now. Everything that I ordered is here. And so this will be my last book haul until I read 100 books that I've already bought. And I'm not counting audiobooks. They're like a completely different thing as far as I'm concerned. I will possibly read some Kindle books that I've already bought to count as part of the 100 books. But other than that, it's going to be physical books. I've got so many physical books, and to me, it seems like almost, and I don't want to insult anyone who's a book collector. I understand the bookish drive to buy more books. I get it. I have that issue. But I'm trying to, okay, to me, it seems like I've got some kind of a sickness. Maybe you could call it an addiction. I could buy every book I lay my eyes on, but I don't want to do that. I want to stop until I have read what I bought. I don't have the shelf space. And in this small house that I'm living in, I really don't have enough room to put more bookcases unless I want to build up. Like I said, I could stack another row of bookcases on the ones I've already got back here, but I'm thinking, why? Why would I want to do that when I'm not reading the books that I already bought? And that really bothers me. Very few of those books have been read. I did have a shelf full of books I had read before the fire, but they were all left in the mobile home I was living in and burnt in the fire in 2020. So I don't currently have a lot of books, and part of that is because, I don't currently have a lot of books I haven't read, but that I have already read. I'm getting confused here. But part of that is because I was living in the trailer, so it was a tendency to read books on Kindle or audiobooks and not read too many physical books. But I'm getting out of that now. I'm enjoying the physical books that I have. I like reading them. I like sitting here in my nice reading chair, which is so comfortable. I'm very happy about it. I just don't want to keep buying them when I don't have a place for them, and I have books here that I haven't read. And I'm sure every book, or almost every book in this house, was bought with good intentions of wanting to read it. So I need to get on that. and I made a pledge to read 100 books before I continue buying them. So every book that I see now on BookTube, and there are a lot of them, I see them and I think, oh, I'd like to read that book. So I put them, instead of in my shopping cart at Amazon, I put them in my TBR list or want to read list at Goodreads and remember them that way. So here are some books that I bought at the end of last year prior to the start of my 100 book Read What You Own challenge. And after these books, I am not planning to buy any more for a while. It's going to take me a long time to read 100 books. I know me. So this is one I've already shown you. This was in the food video that I recently made. It's Forks Over Knives Recipes with Flavor. So I'm going to be experimenting with that as I am dieting, and so far my dieting has not started, which is kind of scary. So this book is a Dulcimer songbook. And I bought it because I recently purchased a Dulcimer. Let me show you that. Now this is what I would consider a cheap Dulcimer from Pakistan. It's actually made in Pakistan, bought off Amazon. And for those of you who don't like Amazon, please understand, I live in the boonies. There are no stores around here. 70 miles to the nearest big box store, including Walmart. And so I buy things from Amazon. I would not consider this a really fancy Dulcimer, but I told myself if I can learn to play this one, I will probably buy one from one of those Dulcimer makers back in the Appalachian Mountains, something that is really special. But it does sound pretty good. I'm not unhappy with the sound of this instrument, and I needed to learn how to play it. So I'm learning from this book that there are chords that I need to learn, and it has, on every page where there's a song, it has all the chords that you need to know to play that song. And I thought it was hard at first. It was really hard for me to learn, even though I used to play guitar quite a bit, and so chords are not new to me. But it's new for me to learn the fingering positions for this Dulcimer, and so challenging. I like to challenge myself with musical instruments now and then. So back to the books. Let me get this pile of books off. These are all the books that I ordered before the first of the year. This is Self-Editing for Fiction Writers, necessary for me because I have like a lot of novels that I wrote and never edited, and therefore never published. So I have actually owned this book before. I owned it up until 2013 when I wanted to move up to Idaho, and I was kind of pressured by somebody that used to live with me to get rid of all my writing books, and so I did. I gave them all away. And this was one of them. Well, this is actually a new edition, and I've already started reading it. So I am fascinated by the idea of storytelling, especially on videos. So I want to get better at it. And this is one book that I picked up. It is How to Tell a Story by, what do they call this? Hold on. How to Tell a Story. The Moth. It's The Moth. The group is called The Moth. and they publish books like this, How to Tell a Story. It's a storytelling group. So I also bought a deck of cards, if I can pull them over here. Yep, never got anything like this before. It's a game of storytelling by the same group, the Moth, and it says it has 100 themes with 350 prompts for sharing your truest life stories. So far, almost every card that I have picked out contained things that I would not want to write about, but I'm sure some of them will be helpful for me. I haven't gotten into it much lately. I haven't gotten into it much yet. This is a book about the perfect story, how to tell stories that inform, influence, and inspire. When I was looking through books for storytelling, a lot of them were for like companies that want to sell something and need to tell stories so they can sell. And I'm not that person. I'm not selling anything. I do not think my YouTube videos will ever be monetized. I don't feel a need for that, even if I had the 1,000 viewers and 4,000 watch time hours per year. I think that was the criteria. So this one is by Russ Ramsey. Van Gogh has a broken heart. You know, I have a thing for Van Gogh, having read his letters last year. And Russ Ramsey wrote another book before this one called Rembrandt is in the Wind. It was actually about that painting right behind me, the Rembrandt. Well, that's a reproduction. That's not the real thing, of course. The real thing was stolen from a museum and has never been recovered. But what these Russ Ramsey books are, they are a series of like biographies, short biographies of the different artists. And this one has different, for the most part, different artists featured than the book about Rembrandt is in the Wind. And then, as you know, I'm doing this epistolary January challenge. And so I have a couple of epistolary novels here. This one is called The Examiner by Janice Hallett, who has apparently written other epistolary novels, and it looks pretty interesting. I like the way it looks. I like it a lot. And this one is Up the Down Staircase. Now this one's close to my heart because this is the first epistolary novel I ever read. I read it in the 1960s, and I just never had a copy of it for all these years. You realize that's 50 years ago that I was a teenager and read this. Yeah. And I was always intrigued by it because I loved the format that this is in. Just very, very creative. And then the last book that I got is called Myths and Mistakes in New Testament Textual Criticism. And that's because I'm doing a different challenge. It's the Biblical Studies Challenge. And I'll put the information about that in the description of the video. Anyhow, this is one of the books that I'm going to be reading because the point of the challenge is for those of us who have never been able to go to a Bible college to learn about the types of things that are studied in Bible colleges. And so one of the months, it's about textual criticism. This month, it was about hermeneutics, and I've read my book. I will be reviewing it very soon. I'm kind of excited about learning these things about Christianity that I have never known before. So I got that one. And then the last one that I bought is called Hearing God. It's a meditation journal. Christians do meditate on the Word of God. And this one has a nice way of recording the meditations. I did one page so far. And so the page has spaces to write down the meditation verse, the length of time you meditate on it, observations of what your meditation was like, takeaways, and God's still small voice, your interaction with the Lord while you're meditating. And so I will be using that as the year goes on. So those are all the books that I bought after my last book haul and before the first of the year. So my Read What You Own challenge started on January 1st, and I have decided not to buy any more books unless I need them for that biblical studies challenge. I don't anticipate doing any more challenges this year. I might do June on the Range, but I think I could get some books, either audiobooks, which I'm not counting in my Read What You Own challenge, and maybe I could get some from Libby. So that's my plan. Anyhow, I already explained in another video that my caveat to the Read What You Own challenge is that I will still be getting my subscription from audible.com. I can still get audiobooks from Libby. So I will have some room to do some, mood reading, I think they call it. So that's the video. That's about all I had to share with you on this one. I hope that you're reading something that you love. I care about you. I want to hear about you and the books that you like to read. And I hope you're having a happy January 2025.